dustymen, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Brianna Ali. I don't have a set intention for my channel yet. Just know I am on my journey to becoming my highest and flyest self, and I would encourage and hope that I inspire you to do the same. So without further ado, today's video is going to be a 6-month update on life in LA, how it's been since I moved, what I've been going through, how I feel, what's new, what's not new, what's dusty, who dusty. Nah, I'm just playing. But yeah, we're gonna talk. So get comfortable, get some snacks, get a drink. I have this non-alcoholic drink that I thought was gonna be fire, and it's not doing what it needs to do, but I needed something to sip on, so whatever. Nonetheless, let's get into it. All right, so let's take it all the way back from the beginning. I moved to LA October 22nd, 2022, so end of last year. I was previously living in Detroit and surrounding areas for the last 10 years. Before that, I was born and raised in Saginaw, Michigan. That's my home, that's where I'm from, 99, what's up? And then I came here. So the first day I was here, October 22nd, like I said, I think I was in a daze. Like nothing had really settled in that I was home. This was my new home. This is where I was about to be for Lord knows how long. That day that I got here, one of my really close friends picked me up, took me to Target, IKEA, Best Buy, everything, literally got me everything. Picked up my keys, and I told him, like, let me go in by myself because I just want a moment to like take it all in. So got my keys, came in, and I remember just walking in, like still again in shock and disbelief, like, God, you did this for me. Like, you moved me out here, you got me in my own place, and it's nice, y'all. Like, it ain't a grand ass like condo or nothing, but it's mine, it's me, it's like what I worked hard for, and he made that happen. And I was just like, damn, like I really did this shit. I'm really out here in LA. So day one was crazy. I ended up having dinner with one of my girls that night just to celebrate Bring It In, which was cool. And then things quickly turned like left from there. So I think that following week, mind you, in order for me to move out here, I had told my job, like, I'm moving to LA, I need a fully remote position, because the position I had at the time, I was an HR manager, I had to go into the office. So I was in the office at least 3 to 4 days a week. We had the option to be remote, but it was like, no, you really need to be on site unless you just need a day. So I told them I was moving. They ended up creating me a position where I was technically reporting to the recruiting team, supposed to be working on like the employee brand stuff, so Indeed, LinkedIn, stuff like that. But I was actually working with the community engagement team, so all internal employee events and recognition and all the fun stuff. So I was doing that. I'm only like, probably, I started that role I think a couple weeks before moving, so I was probably in like about a month into that role. So again, we're in the second week of me living here. Rumor has it that our company is about to do layoffs. Now, my company had done that before, so every time this happened, it was like triggering, like shit, who gonna make it? I had been there for almost 5 years, and for the first time, I wasn't worried, but I had a feeling like, oh, I'm out of here. I just knew. Something just told me, and I was making jokes to everybody like, oh, I'm gonna be good. Like, well, it's time for me to go anyway. I've been here, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna be straight, you know? Like, let me go. Just take care of me, blah, blah, blah. Jokes, jokes, jokes. And everybody knew. Again, like the company I was working for, loved them. Like, it was a startup when I started. We built it from the ground up together. And I had a family there. So while everybody knew, like, oh, Bree moving to LA, she probably gonna do other things, and I was very open and honest about it, I wasn't ready to do that shit just like that. Like, it wasn't supposed to go down like that. Fast forward, November 2nd, got the call, said I had a meeting with my team lead, and the girl was let go. I was already prepared for it, but I think after getting off the phone and it being really real, I was just crying. I cried so hard. Like, it was just like, damn, it wasn't supposed to happen like that. Like, after I just made a huge move to expensive ass LA where the bills were billing, like, I was devastated. And I was more so sad about like the family I created. Like, yes, you can get another job, you can go work anywhere, but if you've ever worked somewhere where it didn't feel like work, you felt like you were working amongst, again, family, and you were just having fun, like, you don't find that anywhere. I had worked my way up to a lot of respect and a lot of freedom, and just being able to work at my own pace, getting shit done, of course, but it was a great space to be. Another thing to note was the last few months of me being there, I was actually working on this internal TikTok influencer program. So I was their first TikTok influencer. Yeah, I was cool like that. And the team had actually told me, like, once I was actually formally laid off, they reached out like, we still want to work with you, we're going to try to find a way to do that, we just have to make sure we can. And I didn't think they were lying, but you know, people will say things or they would try to do things, but just the way everything was going, I just wasn't sure. I wasn't going to hold my breath on it. I'm like, you know, thank you, I would love to do that, just let me know. So yeah, I was devastated. After I cried it out, like that day, I remember the next day I woke up and I prayed, and I actually felt refreshed. I felt like a little weight had been lifted off my shoulders, and I had felt like, you prayed for all these new blessings and new beginnings, you prayed for a fresh start, you prayed for God to start opening more doors. When you pray for things like that, and when God has big things in store for you, you know, we always look forward to the blessings that are coming in, the wins, and we forget, in order to make room, God will start to remove that job, that person, that relationship, that friendship, whatever the case may be. And I'm like, you know, this was probably in the way. This probably would have hindered me from doing other things. And I'm like, you know what, God? I trust you. I've lost a lot worse. This can't be the end all be all for me, you know? So I spent the next few days just like, fuck it. I'm unemployed, I got free time, I'm gonna figure this shit out like I always do. A few days went by, my birthday was coming up, which was on November 15th, and then I started like now having a whole separate anxiety, birthday anxiety, whatever you want to call it. I'm like, fuck, my birthday's coming up, I don't got a job, should I be celebrating? Like, what am I gonna do? I was just in this loop. And then it was also like, this was my first birthday without my family, without any of my like best friends. Mind you, I did have like a really close friend here, a couple, but it's just like without family. I'm a big family girl. I always bring my family in with my birthday first, or I mean, always bring my birthday in with my family first, even if I had other plans. So it was just gonna be different for me. And so my birthday was coming up. The week of my birthday, I come home one day and I park in a garage that's attached to like our units, our building, and there was a letter on my car, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I open it and it's like, hey beautiful, I think you're so beautiful, and if you think I'm cool or you want to find out more, like text this number. And it had a name on it. I'm like, who the fuck is this name? And it like dawned on me, there was a guy that had been parking right next to me and speaking to me, and I would speak just because I'm a nice person, you know, but we never had any deep conversation. So I didn't say anything, I went about my day. Actually, this is on my birthday, this happened on my birthday. I went out and saw the note as I was on my way to a facial. So I leave the facial, go have lunch with one of my friends. I come back home and I'm about to get ready for dinner, and this person is out there, and I'm like, fuck. I'm a little nervous. Now, I ain't scary or nothing like that, but it's like, I have a history of men being weird and trying to do weird things. So I'm like a little triggered. I'm like, damn, like, he knows I got the letter. Should I address it? Should I say something? So I get out the car. I'm like, hey, I got your note. I appreciate the compliment, but I am seeing someone. And he was like, oh, no worries at all, like, for sure. I start walking away, and I hear him say something like, but if you ever think you want to get rid of that, do that and let me know, or something like that. And I just act like I ain't hear him. I'm like, okay, this motherfucker's weird. So I go in there, I tell some people, family, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry I didn't tell y'all. I did not want y'all to worry about me. But my homeboy was like, you need to go tell the leasing office just in case he gets to be like extra. So I go, I report it. I'm like, you know, I'm not trying to be that girl that's like starting shit, because he hasn't like made any threats to me, but I want y'all to know that he's made an advance at me. I told him no, and if anything transpires, like, it's on file. And so a couple days had went by, I saw him again. He made another comment, and I was at that point like pretty uncomfortable. So I did tell the leasing office, and they called me one evening while I was out, and told me like, you know, he's on his way out. He was here on a corporate lease or some shit like that, and basically this must have happened before, but they ended up putting his ass out. And you know what, good riddance, because who just want to be living in a new spot, new city, looking over my shoulder wondering if you're gonna be, you know, a weirdo to me. So my November was starting pretty crazy. Got laid off, had to get my stalker up out of here, and it was just a loop kind of from there. I was good, and then I wasn't good, and then I was like, all right, and then I was like, God got it. I mean, God always got it, but that was pretty much my November. And then Thanksgiving came around and everybody was leaving. I'm like, oh shit, this is my first holiday outside of my birthday again without my family, and Thanksgiving was a big one for us. So I was like, fuck, like I kind of want to go home. Flights were crazy, and one of my friends ended up telling me like, I'll get your flight home. I was like, ugh, you're amazing. If you're watching this, you're still amazing. Got my flight home, and I ended up surprising my family. I'm probably gonna insert a clip here so y'all can see how shocked they were. It was so cute.
What the fuck?
Oh my god! Sorry for lying to you.
Surprising for Thanksgiving, stayed, and then I came back home, and then again I wasn't working. I was still doing like content creation and influencer stuff on the side, but it was kind of just slow, so I was kind of chilling. And then middle of December, Christmas was coming up, and I was like, I'm gonna go home again. So I went home for Christmas. I stayed for Christmas through the New Year, and there was like one of those nights, I forgot what I was about to do, but the person from the content team, again, where I was doing the TikTok influencer program with her, she ended up reaching out to me. Again, this is my former employer that had just laid me off. But long story short, she had got clearance to continue working with me, and instead of me getting like a little monthly allowance, which was what I was getting when I was a team member of like product, they were gonna pay me. They were gonna pay me. I was like, not me being promoted from a team member to influencer to content creator. And it was so crazy because at that moment I had vividly remembered, I think my first year working there, my coworker Phil, I was telling him like, you know, I want to be an influencer and I'm gonna build my following and blah blah blah, I'm gonna get on YouTube. And I was loosely talking at the time, but I kind of meant that shit. And he was one of the first people I told, like, do you remember when we were sitting at work working our 14-hour shifts, and I was telling you like I was gonna do XYZ, and he would check in with me like, oh, you hit 10K, oh, you hit da da da, hyping me up. And I had to share that news with him, like, I'm not working for y'all no more, I'm working with y'all. And I felt so happy, so blessed, and I felt like that was again reassurance and confirmation that you got to trust the process. You have to know, again, your plans are not always the plans. It's God's plans. You want to make him laugh, tell me your plans. But he had me, and obviously he saw bigger and better, and I wasn't supposed to stay on that side forever. This is the side I was supposed to be on. So I signed that contract, and I've been doing that since January. So that was like my highlight of January, other than seeing my family, of course. So when I came back to LA after I signed that, I was like, oh, bet, I'm about to be a full-time influencer. Hello, I'm a content creator. Hello. But doubt started to kick in. I was like, you sure you want to do just that? And for the longest, I had always had this battle with myself of like, I'm on social media all the time anyway. I've always loved sharing, you know, the things I buy, the things I wear, beauty, fashion, where I'm eating, like all these things. I've built a genuine community on there. I love engaging with the girls and dustymen too. I call y'all dusty, but I do love y'all. But no, I love engaging. It sounds like I'm in the projects. Anyway, as I was saying, I was in this constant battle with myself of calling myself that, being called an influencer or just a content creator, because I'm not one to really care about what people in society think, but I just didn't want to be just this, just an influencer, just a content creator. Hell, even just working a job. Like, I don't like labels. I don't like to be boxed in. I want to be able to do whatever the fuck I want to do when I want to do it. Like, yes, I dabble in that. Yes, I do that. But I felt like, particularly with the influencer and content creator title, there were all these negative connotations, like, well, you're just a pretty face. I think that's what my fear was, because I had modeled before too, and I was like, it was always important to me, and why I had steered away from modeling into influencer in the first place was because I had a voice here. I wanted people to know, yes, I'm pretty, I'm cute, whatever you want to call it, but this is not the best of me. This is a shell. But in here, that's where all the good shit is at. So I was like going back and forth with that. And then again, talking to God, talking to people who know me and love me and have my best interest, it was like, I forgot who talked. I think it was Terrence. Terrence, if you're watching this, shout out to you. But he was like, you know, you own that narrative. So what if you are an influencer, if you're a content creator, like, you're good at that shit and you can tell the story your way. Get on Instagram stories, get on YouTube, get on your TikTok, talk to them and let them know what's up. And I was like, you're right. You are absolutely right. So started dabbling more into the content, into creating more, and I ended up getting another brand deal, and it wasn't like a year-long contract like my other one, but it was still like a one-off that I was paid for, and I was like, I can do this. February came around and I don't know what happened. Actually, I know what happened. One of the things, I haven't talked about this on this channel, I don't believe, but I lost my brother, the person on this pendant, George, I call him Papa, 2 years ago, and February 26th is his birthday. So when February came around, I was thinking, I'm like, oh, my brother's birthday is coming up, which then led me to like the following months to come, which were, you know, his passing date was in April, and from there I was just thinking so far ahead and then spiral. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna be sad, I'm gonna be down in the dumps. And then it also dawned on me, I hadn't been to therapy since June of the year before that. So mind you, I done lost my job, I done dealt with the stalker, I'm miles away from my family, alone. Now my brother's birthday is coming up. I'm just in the dumps. I'm not even thinking about the good shit that was happening no more. I'm just like down. And as like a couple weeks went by into February, again, his birthday is February 26th, Valentine's Day comes, it's love day, and being transparent with y'all, I ain't no hater. I love love. Love to see it, love to feel it, but I was just like, damn, like, I'm not doing nothing. And it wasn't even about doing it with just like a man. It was like, my friends aren't here, my family isn't here, I have my niece, like, I don't have anyone to celebrate this love day with. So I'm already in the dumps about everything, and then you got that on top of it, and I was spiraling. Fast forward, I finally reached out to my therapist, like, I need to, you know, I need to see you, because it was getting pretty dark for me. I'm trying not to get emotional talking about this, because I didn't talk about this to anyone, including people close to me. So if you're watching this, hi, hello, I love you, but I'm sorry I didn't tell you. It was getting dark for me. There were nights where I was like tripping, being at home alone, afraid. I felt like I was going through like a spiritual attack. Now, I don't know how religious or spiritual y'all are, but I felt weak. I felt like I was being preyed upon, and I couldn't sleep. Eating was weird. And something like in me, I was just like recognizing, like, you ain't never been this low before. I think you're depressed. I think that is creeping in. And I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to tell anyone. I am the go-to friend, the go-to family member. And when things got rough for me, woo, let me take a sip of my drink. Hold up. My brother was my go-to. My brother was the yin to my yang, the only other person I felt had a backbone as strong as mine, that could like take my shit but still keep pushing, because we did that for each other. And I was feeling it. So anyway, I got to therapy, to that session, like a week before his birthday. And as we're in the session, I'm talking to her, I'm telling her all of this, and she tells me, like, Brie, I've never seen you like this or heard you like this. Like, she straight up told me, she's like, you are displaying symptoms of depression. And again, I told you I had that feeling, but when I heard it coming from her, immediately I felt like, oh my God, how did you let yourself get this low? And I got even harder on myself, and I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. And I don't know why I felt all these ways. I was like, how did you get here? Like, you're so upbeat, you're so vibrant, you're so resilient. This tattoo on my arm says that. You always figure it out. How did you get here? And I was like throwing myself through the ringer about it, which was horrible. Like, why would I do that? I've never been one to talk bad to myself, and I wasn't calling myself stupid or nothing, but like, I was just questioning everything about me. And I was lonely, and I didn't have it in me to call up anybody and say, hey, this is what's going on with me. I'm sad, I'm lonely, I don't feel like myself, I'm hurting. Woo, I am not about to cry on this camera. Hold on one second. All right, I'm back. I think I cleared my face. But going back to that therapy session, so at the end of it, she was pretty much just telling me, she was like, Bree, like, it's normal, it's okay, like, you just had a lot of life changes going on. She was like, one, you've been actively grieving, and you haven't even allowed yourself to grieve as you should, which is a whole nother story in itself. That had been, you know, going on 2 years, all these dates coming up. Of course, I'm triggered naturally. I had just moved across the country alone. I just lost my job of the last 4 years. Like, I'm out here now, like, you know, that's a lot. Give yourself grace, girl, give yourself grace. And I wasn't doing that. I was doing it, but not consistently. She was telling me, she's like, you know, you got to get out. She did tell me, like, you need to get outside more, whether that's alone, getting some fresh air, but you need to spend time with people too. She was telling me, like, although you're an ambivert, like, I recharge alone, I still thrive in settings of people. Like, I love people, I love human interaction, I love to connect, and I wasn't having that consistently. Like, my job was the bulk of that. Scratch all that, I had none of that. Mind you that I'm in a big city with like a handful of friends who again are scattered, living their own lives, doing their own things. So of course I felt all these ways. So then we get to March. Money fucking making March. March was good. March felt like another fresh start, a breath of fresh air. Coming out of February, where I was just at my darkest and my lowest, I felt like things were turning around. I was going to church regularly. I had found a church that I was trying out, and I was praying a lot, I was journaling a lot, I was getting outside, and I started signing up for events and going to things alone. I was showing up at the events by myself, trying to network, trying to meet people, and it was going good. I was being invited to influencer events, I was shooting, I had like 2 photo shoots in March, another content deal. I went to Pretty Little Thing, inviting me out there, got something going with them. It was a good month. So that was my March. April came around. I went to a Nike event in April, and again I was feeling like the one. I was like, ooh, back on. And at some point in there, I had a little bit of self-reflection, and it was like realizing, like, bitch, the last few months you kind of been hard on yourself. You've been expecting things to just be kosher all the time. And you know, it's funny thinking about this, because when you talk to other people, I'm sure you all feel this way. You give great advice. You tell people, like, give yourself grace. You know, slow progress is better than no progress. Success is not linear, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to you, you hard. You looking at life with a fucking microscope, looking at every move you make, like, is it the right one? Why did you do that? Did you? And I was just sitting with myself, like, you killing it, actually. You are doing it. You done moved across the country. Again, by yourself. Like, I started having to give myself credit, looking back, like, girl, you did that. So, new leaf had been flipped. More money was coming in. I had gotten a raise, or, you know, increase on one of my contracts, picked up another, and I was like, all right, this is cool. So that was April. Now we're in May. Let's talk about May. Let's talk about the now, what's going on. I started a new job, and it's not like the huge big girl job I was working with all the hats and things I was doing, but I love that it is a very similar and familiar environment. I'm working with fashion and style that I love. I'm seeing products that are inspiring me. I'm around people who are cool as fuck, can dress their asses off, and they are like family. They remind me of like my early days at my first company. I'm like, damn. And it's so crazy because every time I used to come to LA, I had a friend that was working there, and I would always stop in, stay with stuff, grab some stuff, and be on my way. And we were both like, damn, like I live here now. We're co-workers. We in this bitch. Like, it's crazy. So I've been doing that for about a month now. Real cool, real chill. We got some coins coming in. But of course, me being me, I'm already like, all right, what's next? And that's not in the sense of like trying to leave them. It's just like, all right, got that secured. What else are we working on? So now I'm at the point of like trying to, one, appreciate what I got going on. I have a job. I have a lovely roof over my head. I got clothes, good clothes on my back. And while money may be fluctuating and things might not always be certain, they're coming. They're coming, they're going, and then more is coming. So I'm trying to get back in this abundance mindset. Like my motto last year was faith over fear. And somewhere along the way, I've seemed to forgotten that. So May, I just been getting back on track. I remade a vision board. Let me show y'all this real quick. I'm not gonna go into detail about it, but this is it. Some of the things on here, consistency, discipline, everything works in my favor because it does. I'm a very blessed girl. Favor is not fair when it comes to me and you. God is good. Debt free, because I gotta pay some shit off, but we gotta make some more money. But yeah, just being more appreciative and more in tune with also my feelings, feeling them as they come, letting them be what they are, and not trying to run from it. Like I am going through a lot still internally, but sometimes I just sit and I look around and I'm like, damn, like you've come a long way. Anybody who has uprooted their life and moved anywhere, like away from your friends, away from your hometown, away from your family, I applaud you. This shit is not easy. It gets very lonely. It gets very hard to see through sometimes because you don't have the friend up the street you can call, the family around the corner. You don't have a safety net. So well, like if it's you, it's just you. You gotta see that shit through. And that's not to say like I can call my mom up like, oh, I need this, but I've never been that daughter. She knows that. I also started working out heavy. Now, I've been working out pretty much all my life, but I had the opportunity to work with a dog-ass trainer, retired, but open to training me. And y'all, it's been crazy. Like, I've been pushed and challenged beyond what I thought I was capable of. The first session, I literally had to sit with myself like, bitch, what you been doing? Cause you ain't been doing this. You ain't been doing that. My body is changing. I'm looking even better, but above all, I'm feeling amazing. Like the mental aspect of working out, when you work out like that, it changes everything. It's not just, you know, you locked in at the gym. Now you locked in for the day. Like you go in there and you push yourself beyond what you think you could do. You start to wonder, what else can I do that I thought I couldn't do? How much further can I push myself in other areas of my life? So I've been waking up earlier. I've been reading more. I've been writing more. I've been a little more. My house ain't dirty, y'all, but it's like one little gnat flying around this bitch. I'm about to. Anyway, yeah, my mindset is definitely enhanced that, and I love that for me. So the summer body is loading, but the lifestyle is really what it is. I feel like I'm way more tapped in. I'm way more in tune with my body, how it functions, how it works, how it feels. And that's really the goal, like a lifestyle every day. So outside of like the personal things I've been going through and my own updates, LA overall, it's been cool. It's so different than when you're vacationing somewhere versus actually living there. I tell you what I don't like, this weather. Since I've been here, it's been shit. And even the people that live here, they've been living here, they'll tell me straight up like, this is different, this is new. The first few months, November to like January, it was fucking raining almost every day. I'm like, did I leave the Midwest for this? Am I on an island? What's going on? It was disgusting, and it still is. It's about to be June and it's been 60 degrees. So Michigan been having better days. So weather, one thing I'm not feeling, the traffic. Everybody talks about the traffic, and you know, I've only been in traffic 2 times where my destination was about 45 minutes and it took me 2 hours. That was my fault because I left late. The traffic don't really kill me. It's not sitting in it. I'm kind of used to it because I used to commute to work during prime time hours. It's that these motherfuckers can't drive. They don't use their blinkers. They don't know how to move over or let you over. I feel like, you know what's crazy? I feel like me using my blinker to let you know I need to get over, make them not let me get over. They want to, so, oh, okay, bet. I'm gonna cut you off. I've turned into that driver. So, driving. Let's talk about food. Let's talk about food. If you are in the LA area, surrounding area, you know good food, let me know, because I feel like I've been eating at the same spots, and most of the fancy spots people tell you to go to is overpriced. It's unseasoned. It's not to say all of it, but some of it. So I'm in the NoHo area, so I think I've only had probably 2 restaurants over here. I'm finding that I probably won't renew my lease over here. Like, I don't do nothing over here. Nobody I hang with lives over here. My job ain't over here. The shopping ain't over here. Like, it's a cool area, but I think I want to be a little closer to all the action. So I got some exploring to do. I love that the beach is right at my fingertips. Hiking, I can do all that still. Shopping is way better. Like, it's almost too many options. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, I still shop online for like any like vintage things I want to get, but you got so many options. Streetwear, luxury, designer, obviously is shopping everywhere. There's no shortage of that. So yeah, overall it's been cool. I think that it just doesn't feel like home yet. I don't know that I'll be here long term. People here have been saying it took them like 2 to 3 years for it to finally feel like home, and I'm like, god damn, that's a long time. I'm trying to do a lot in the next 3 years, so we got to see about that. Dating, I don't know. I can't help in that area. I have not been dating in LA. That's not been my focus. Am I open to it? I don't know, but let me tell you what I hear that is awful, that is pissed in the dating pool. So I don't know. I feel like I've never really had a problem dating in general. Like, the niggas is out there. There's a lot of niggas out there. Maybe finding the right ones, but that's anywhere. I don't think that's here or there. I also think that's who you are, what you attract. Not what you attract, what you entertain. That could be a whole nother video. We could talk about dusty men and dusty women and dusty activity. But yeah, I don't have those problems. My priority and focus is me doing what I need to do. And I really feel like even if I started to date, if you're not adding no value, you don't sweep me off my feet, good fucking luck. So anyway, that's my spiel on that. The good things, again, options. There are a lot of options of almost everything. It's just a matter of finding them. I've been making more friends, new friends, going out. It's always something going on. Like, I feel like at first I wasn't sure because I didn't have like the right connects, but LA is very much who you know. So make those friends, make those connections. Genuinely, of course. I would say I've encountered a little bit of a opportunist type of people. It's not my kind of people. I get it. Like, sometimes you're trying to make a move, you're just interested in that. But otherwise, I've also met some amazing people. I feel like there's this like ongoing debate about transplants, which are people who are not from here but have moved here, versus like the natives. And I feel like I've met good of both. Like, I don't know, again, I feel like it's just what you attract or what you entertain. Like, I know some people come here and they're like, everybody's so fake and it's so Hollywood and it's so weird, and that just hasn't been my experience. So I don't know, but I'm open to making new friends. So if you're watching this video, you're in the area, let me know. We can get coffee. I love coffee. I love food too, but coffee, And I like doing actual things, like go to a museum, we can go hiking, we can go, I don't know, pick flowers or cherries or something like that. Like, I don't just want to always sit at a restaurant and eat. I can do that on my own time. So yeah, other than that, me in LA has been cool. I'm very excited for summer. I'm actually very, 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 very excited for summer. I'm gonna be tan, I'm gonna be fine. My body is banging, y'all better watch out. So I'm trying to think of anything else I might have wanted to touch on. But also, I feel like I've been running my mouth, and I'm also thinking about, I have to edit this, so I'm not trying to prolong this any further. Thank y'all for tuning in, for seeing a girl get vulnerable. That is not an easy thing for me. In fact, it's like something I've been working on and I'll get better at. But thank y'all for tuning in. Please let me know what you think, what else you want to see, any questions you might have. I think my next video might be around my tips for moving or any big goal that you want to accomplish. I feel like I got a little skin in the game. I can help you with a little something. So again, thank y'all so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.